Oh, good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the tradingsyndicate.org. I'm JJ, vwaptrader1. This is our live stream where we prep you for the morning and help you trade with some common sense, hopefully. Hey, all right, good morning. Juan, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Jem. Hey, Timo. What's going on, guys? Well, hey, Green. How are you? First question here. Do you consider prior days post session 4 to 8? Yes. Okay, so Troy, if you're there, come join us in the ES chat. It says JJ Live ES Room. So we already have a question here. I'm going to show you here on. Right now, are you on stream? I'm trying to show you. So session start time 2:30 to 11 o'clock my time. Okay, you're just joining now? Cool. I'll give you the session times. Morning, Joe. How you doing? So, Troy, Globex starts. Good morning. Globex starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It ends at 9:30 in the morning. It's the entire night session. Regular trading hours is from 9:30 Eastern Time to 5 p.m. Right? Good stuff. Hey, Sonny, how are you doing? So I posted the session times in your message when you messaged me. Okay. So let's start off here. Market's working quite nicely. Right. We have overnight inventory is long. Okay. All of the trading is above yesterday's close. So it's starting to correct lower now as we speak. It's month end today. So we expect the market to try and test these levels like the close and yesterday's low. That's normal business to come and test the lower end of the price range, right? Because all this is just a range of price that the market traded in, right? Distribution. So let's see if we get any decent liquidation. We haven't had a lot of liquidation in this market. Yesterday we had decent liquidation, and the market immediately grabbed it and took it and sold it higher. Okay? Yeah, tomorrow's the last trading day of the month. Today is month end. Because this index is based on stocks. Stocks, Ben, take 1 day to settle. So T plus 1. So trade date is today, plus 1 is tomorrow. Market maker month end is tomorrow. Right? Because market makers have to provide liquidity all the way to the end of the month, last trading day. So everything today will be mark to market for retail traders and anyone who manages money. No problem. It's a bit confusing. Hey, Mr. M. Okay. So today's also a Fed day, right? So 2 p.m., right? Remember that, folks? 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you make a note of it. Do not be in a trade at 2 o'clock, okay? Hey, Sonny, what's going on? This morning's economic data came in better than expected. Does that factor into my outlook for the day? Absolutely not. I don't look at the news at all. First of all, I have no way to interpret the economic data and put it into an execution plan. Now, if I was a fund manager and I was taking positions for longer periods of time, I would look at that. Actually, I wouldn't look at that. I'd pay an analyst to look at that. I'd have a couple of analysts, and they would crunch all those numbers, and I would make them work 20 hours a day and sleep in the office, feed them little bits of bread, right, as we do on the street, and make them crunch the numbers. No, we don't look at that stuff at all, right? So I'm a day trader, right? What I care about, Sonny, is inventory and order flow. So let's look at inventory, right? Let's look at inventory, right? Oh, I could tell you stories. But anyway, all right, let's get to work. Oh, man. Uh, Inventory is long, okay? Because it's all above yesterday's close, Sonny. So we're looking to see if we can break yesterday's close and test the previous day low. Now, if we can't, for example, say we can't take out the close. What was it, 3 3/4, 464.04, something like that? If we can't get down there and break it, what do you think is going to happen? I'm playing the music from Jeopardy. Anyone? What happens to a market that, yeah, there you go, rotation. Beautiful. It's going to rotate up the other way. Or it's just going to go sideways. Right? Now, if you close your eyes and say you were long 2,500 contracts, right? And you took them in under 64 at the end of the day yesterday, you had to buy some contracts, right, from retail, right? Say you're a wholesaler. And you have to buy, and you're long 2,500, 3,000 contracts under 4, under 5, under 6, right? You would be doing your best to get rid of that inventory as cheap as you possibly could, right? Anybody who takes it, just get it out the door. Why? Because you want to lower your risk. Just in case the Fed guy says something stupid, right? Or an algo reacts a certain way or anything like that, right? You want to get rid of it. If you can't get rid of it as expensive as possible, you get rid of it, you put it on sale. That's what's going on now. They're still making money, right? If you're long at 4 and 5 and you're selling it at 9, just get it out the door. Now, when the market opens and it doesn't rotate lower and it starts creeping higher, you just sell into it, sell into it, sell into it, right? Rotation is a way to get rid of your inventory, Joe, right? Now, I've got, why is my cost basis 12? Oh, that's just where I saw it, truth, right? So I did my cost basis here, right? So when I did the cost basis levels, I used these two lows and those two highs. Because I did it at this time of the day. And I saw a clear balance. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if I had come in now, I might use a lower cost basis. You know what I mean? But because I wake up here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I saw these two lows and these highs, right? Hey, Dan, how you doing? Right. So rotation. So, Joe, let me tell you, what does rotation mean? It's the rotation of inventory, right? We conveniently leave out words, right? Like they say overhang. Well, it's overhanging supply. It's the rotation of inventory. So you acquire inventory, right? And then you sell inventory for a profit, hopefully, right? It does not make a difference what time you draw it. You know why, truth? Because it's all the same inventory, right? So if you drew your balance zone here, right? And somebody else draws it here, they're both going to work. You know why? Because it's the same thing. It's the same product. All we're doing is keeping track of the rotations of inventory, right? So here, it's not like we're selling pasta here, and here we have a tire shop, right? And then when we get back here, we're making pies, and then down here, we're running a nail salon, right? The business is always the same. It's the same business. It's the same product, right? So I used a distribution balance. You can use an accumulation balance if you wish. But they're all going to work because it's all the same inventory, right? It's all the same business. And rotation is something that markets do because that's all we do. This is like, you guys ever been to a used car lot? Or a car lot, they put the new cars out, everybody comes and buys them, and they can't afford the payments, and they return them, they get less money. Then they put Armor All on the tires and put the cars back out at a profit. Then they sell them and they buy them back cheap. Well, this is the world's greatest used car lot, but it's a 23-hour car lot, and business is happening every second. It's wonderful, right? There's really nothing fancy in this. People try and make this overly complicated and fancy so they sound really smart. I'd rather sound like an idiot and make money than sound like a PhD and be broke, right? That's just me, right? What about hedges? What wholesalers, dealers may or may not be implementing? Well, Troy, are we working at a hedge fund? Are we working at a dealer? What's our objective? Our objective is to make 500, 1,000, 2,000, $5,000 a day, right? Squeeze out a living, right? All of that stuff is all BS. It's worthless. You know why? Because all it does is it occupies space in your brain. Space that you could use for execution. You got to learn how to hustle, Sonny, right? You need to learn how to sell cars. You damn well right you better learn how to sell, because when you're long, guess what? You've got inventory and you're a seller. And if you don't judge the market properly and get rid of your inventory at the wrong price, then you are going to be left holding a nice big bag of poop when all the other inventory sellers have sold their product and are sitting in cash. So you better learn how to sell. You better learn how to hustle, right? You know, you got to channel your inner Rick Ross, baby. Every day you're hustling, right? Right? I've tried to be family friendly, Dan, right? You got to hustle. You got to turn that inventory into cash. That's when you're long. When you're short, you got to buy back inventory that you've sold, that you don't own, right? So you don't want to zig when you're supposed to zag. You want to be selling inventory when you're long, and when you're short, you want to be trying to buy that back. You're just hustling, man. That's all we're doing. We're just hustling, right? We're just trying to get rid of this product, right? It's very helpful, Troy, if you did. Just clean out all the junk in the brain. This is a simple business. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it's simple, right? Right? You buy a bunch of cheap crap, you sell it at a higher price. When they get tired of buying it, you put it on sale and try and get rid of it before you take a loss on it. Whether you're selling fake Rolexes, coffee, tires, ES contracts, NQ contracts, right? Whatever you're hustling, you got to know the hustle, right? So it's great to have all these wonderful things that people talk about, but you got to be able to make some money, right? And you got to also be able to stay in business, right? Hey, whatever you're selling, fake Rolexes, hair extensions, you know, whatever you're hustling out there, right? For the Canadians, you're hustling weed, right? Whatever you're doing, you've got to be a good business person. Use intelligent business techniques and have some good habits, right? Everything else is for books. Let them write books about strategies and all of that stuff. Where do I put my buy order, God damn it? Where do I put my stop? Why am I buying this here? Gloves. That was a good one. Jeez. Jeez. Right? Okay. So right now we're just going back and forth over VWAP, right? Expect it to be a little choppy, right? Expect it to be slow. Remember, there's going to be higher margin requirements because the brokerage firms are trying to protect their money, so they want more money from us to trade tonight. I have not traded at all. I think, what did I take? One scalp in Globex, and I haven't traded since Globex. Okay. You know, I did some writing, Roman, last couple of weekends. I have to now send it to somebody who can edit it because I don't know how to write. So I'll have to find an editor or somebody to actually make it make sense. A documentary? Oh my God. Oh man. I don't, I, I think a documentary of my life people wouldn't believe. I have I have the habit of falling ass backwards into situations that you wouldn't even dream of. I don't know what it is. I attract crazy people like you wouldn't believe. And most of my clients were actually pretty insane. Smart, but scary. So we've got sellers at around 11 and a quarter at VWAP. Let's go take a look. Oh boy, what a dog's breakfast it's going to be here. He's not going to raise rates or lower rates today, right? He's just going to like, okay. So why don't they just cancel it and let us trade? Why don't they go, okay, yeah, we're not doing anything. Just go trade. He's going to get cussed out. That's the only thing, right? Now you just got to wait and see what the president's going to say, right? Let's see what the president has for insults. I think that'll be the trade of the day. We'll take bets on what insult he's going to use. The best was when they were at the Federal Reserve and they're standing next to each other and Trump hits him on the back. And Paul's like, "What are you hitting me for?" That was hilarious. Oh, that was funny. That's something I never expected to see a president slap the back of a Fed chairman. Oh my God, that was hilarious. So things you never thought you'd ever see, right? So we have sellers here, folks. Oh, this market is more like a circus than a market. So the sellers are right there at 11 and three quarters. VWAP is right there. So I just want to make sure I've got VWAP in the right place. Yeah, right there. Right, see how it hits that 11 and three quarter and it just stops dead, like it hit a brick wall. Right? That means the sellers are competing at that level. If we can lift and get a 12 print, right? If we can print the 12s, that means the sellers see some buying. You know, I don't even try and figure it out, Mike. I just watch the funny parts of the news. Because honestly, ever since that stuff that Jam sent me 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he sent me some very disturbing news stuff that I can't unsee. So it kind of traumatized me. So I really try and just stick to the Wall Street Journal, right? So I just watch the chart. You know, the chart is it's just innocence. It's just pure innocence. Right? The chart tells me what's going on. Right? I don't want to see, you know, I don't want to see that stuff. Right? When I was a kid, my dad used to write speeches for politicians. So when I was 8 years old, I knew this was all smoke and mirrors. And then when I was an adult, I used to write press releases for companies, right? So I was like, maybe you guys shouldn't really believe everything you read. Do I trade nonstop from 2:30 to 11? Dear God, no. I usually take 3 to 5 trades a day. In the last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, Global Vision, I've been lucky if I get one good trade. Right? I'll take a couple of scalps. I'll wait. Like yesterday, I had one good trade. Right? I bought, what the heck did I buy? I bought 63.98, stopped 63.96, and I sold 64.02 and 64.04, and I was done. So I was a forward-looking statement writer. I was a fiction writer, OJ. Forward-stating statements. A lot of, we have exciting news coming. Stay tuned. You know. No, I would only write the press releases when we couldn't find the CEO because the CEO was either half in the bag or hiding in a closet. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I knew about, see, because the politicians, they would argue like hell with each other and then they'd go drinking after the session together. So yeah, the CEO is at a Coldplay concert. Yeah, don't look at your DM, Mike. You won't be able to unsee it. Jam, stop sending that picture around. God damn it. You're an instigator. Don't look, Mike. Don't look. It'll scar you for life. I refuse to read the news. You guys can tell me what the news is. Just don't show me any pictures. I don't want to know. There we go. And we're off. And we're dropping into the first set of stops. Got about a 12 open. We're coming down to yesterday's point of control, which is where most, see, we bid this area. There were bids here, there were bids here, there were bids here. So let's see if we bid it again. If we bid it again, I hate going long in the middle. I'd like a look below and fail of 6.25. That would be nice. Do we get it? Yeah, rats. Let's see. There's 6.25. Okay, can we fail? Ow! Come on. Long 7, offered at 8.25. Out 1. 8.75 on my second one. Out 2. Flat. That's the trade I was waiting for, right? Look below and fail. I bought it at 7, stop here, and then just barely by the skin of my teeth got out of that one. Oh, was Ozzy's funeral this morning? Damn. That's right, Jem was talking about that. Nice trade. Good trade, good trade. Seller at 7, 8 3/4. Now, can we hold? Come back down to 7 so I can buy some. Don't be like that. Let's see. Now I'm looking for a reaction. I'm not getting one. Have to wait. Where's my bid? Where's my bid? Come back over 6 1/4. I'm not buying you. Nope. No, you're not going to suck me in. No, no, no. I'll wait. I just watched the level, right? Now it looked below. Now it's starting to fail as it comes back up, right? So you'll buy 7 and you'll put offers out. And if it can't get up over 8.5, I know that I'm in trouble, right? And I'll scratch the trade. Thanks, Jeff. Right? If it holds, I can stay in it, right? My sell orders are already in. So all I have to do now is just not screw anything up. Don't touch anything, right? And if it can't take out, see now it took out my 8 3/4, right? Because I'm just long 7, right? Ooh, thank you. I got one left with a 7.5 average, and I'm flat. Hey, Sadiq, what's going on? Good to see you, stranger. Right? I like that trade because you know what it is? It's deep into the discount zone. So this is the cost basis. This is 2 times discount. So I like buying it really. I'm like, the bottom fisher. I'm waiting for the buyers to show up at the edge of the zone. Once they show me that they're there, then I can go long. And then I completely sell right into that strength. Right? And then you sit back. You take a trade, you make a few shekels, now you sit back. Just relax. Right? Sellers are still there at 11 3/4. The reason I'm buying there too also, folks, is because every time the market got near that level, that 5-6 level, bid, 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 bid. That means that there are unfilled buy orders underneath 5. Support, my friends, is created by unfilled buy orders. When those buy orders fill, then the support is gone. What price action did you use to draw the cost basis zone? It's pretty simple. All I do is I look for a high and a low, and when we can't hit that low, do we go back to that high? It's real simple. It's like Forrest Gump simple, right? So balance is just two-sided trade because the buyers and the sellers are the same people, right? So I just used these 2 lows here. Here, I'll show you. I used that low and that low and that high and that high, right? And then when you look below that low, you go right back to that high. That's it. And you practice it a bunch of times so you get used to that methodology. That's all it is, right? Hey, Patty, how are you? Any order that's unfilled, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Because when a market falls, the first people to come in and buy are trap shorts. Then you have wholesale longs. You got your Tesla. Oh, cool. You like it? I've never actually driven one of those things. Just don't put market profile on that big screen when you're driving. That's cool. I don't know about that self-driving. Is it? Does it work? I don't know, man. That freaks me out still. Maybe I'm too old. I've seen those cars that parallel park themselves. That's kind of freaky. Well, it's the wave of the future, I guess. Pretty soon we'll all be like George Jetson flying around. Okay, come on, market. What are we doing here? Now, the last place we had sellers, you see we had constant sellers up here just underneath 14. And VWAP is here, so the market's sort of cleaning that area out. Let's see what it does. You're in India. Are you there for a holiday or did you move? Used to be in Coquitlam. Oh, that's cool. That's where you've been. We're all wondering where you were. Where the heck is he? Oh, that's cool. Interesting, Patty. Technology. Oh, okay. You're just visiting. That's cool. Well, we're just chopping around back here. We did say it was going to be choppy. Hmm. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you, Patty. That's great. Thanks for the feedback. I'm really happy the instruction helped. That's great. Enjoy. I think this market needs a cup of coffee. What do you think? Goodness. I'm not seeing any selling, though. You guys notice that? See that, folks? Not seeing much selling. The repetition does help, eh, Patty? That's true. Right now, would I consider this accumulation or distribution? I would still think it's distribution. You know why? Because most of yesterday's product is here. You see? So we're still selling. So say you were long, like you say you were a big dealer and you were long 20 or 30,000 contracts and you couldn't get rid of them all in Globex, right? You could still get rid of them here, even if you're making 2 or 3 points profit on size, right? I still think we're in distribution. That's fine, Mike. I'd be happy with that. Is that your algo that you programmed? That's like Hal doing all the work? Perfect. Get in, get out, get paid. Beautiful. Man, this thing's bid at 64.08, isn't it? You know, I there's nothing wrong with holding trades for longer periods of time. But the thing is, we have to do business according to the conditions that exist at the time. And you can always size up. Even if you get a 3 point trade, if you do a 3 point trade with 10 or 15 contracts, that's not bad dough. Okay, we're creeping. Let's see if we can get over 13 3/4, folks. Remember what we said. What's the agenda? What's the agenda of the market? Today, the agenda of the market is to get rid of this inventory before the Fed, right? Pretend the inventory is hot dogs, right? Yeah, that's why, Kunj, you don't size up until you know what you're doing, right? You got to build your level of skill before you size up, all right? So today, what's the agenda now is to take this inventory and go sell it as high as we can, okay? That's what the agenda is now. To facilitate trade. But think of your inventory as like hot dogs or donuts or something that's going to go stale, right? You don't want to hold it that long, especially if you're a size trader. You want to get in, you want to get out, you want to get paid, and then rinse and repeat, right? So now we're going to be looking for that 64.15 3/4. Exactly. Pass that potato, right? That inventory, it's burning a hole in your pocket. You want cash, right? Every speculator wants to turn their inventory into cash. Right, so the sellers are stepping in just around 14 and a half. Let's see if we can move the needle here. Tootsie Rolls never go stale. Probably not. Nope, not yet. Now, in the old days, when we used to like ride horses into work, right? What traders would do is they'd see this. They'd see that there's a constant seller here, and they'd short. If you were a fast scalper, you'd hit this here, put your stop here, and then cover. What's a tape bomb? Like, you guys keep using that word. Tape bomb. I don't know. I keep seeing that word. All right. All right. We're back to where we started. We're back in the chop. Right? Back in the chop. So as soon as you see other people selling, right? That's the whole thing about shorting. Oh, a tape bomb is a tweet from the White House? Oh, okay, okay. Thank God I don't have that open. Oh, that's just a large order, Sonny. That's all. Tape bomb. Man, you guys come up with all the sayings. They just mean a large order hitting the tape. Thanks, Leslie. You got to keep up with the young kids, right? Yeah, it sounds sexier, right? Tape bomb. Hey, what's up, Mike? Oh. Now, let's go test those bids down at 6, 5, and 6 again. Right? So, folks, those of you who are interested in learning how to trade, give our room a shot at the Trading Syndicate. It's only 19 bucks right now. Try it out for a month, and we'll teach you how to make a living. It's not, there's no magic. It's just a little bit of discipline and some hard work and repetition and actually understanding the business a bit. That's all it really takes. Hit the 6.25. Do I want to buy that? I really prefer it when it does the look below and fail. When it does this, like here, because then I know that the sell orders under 6.25 don't exist. They've been cleaned out. I would love if ES tests 63.96. That would be great. There we go. There's the look below. And fail. So now remember, if you buy it, there's going to be a seller at 8.25. They'll sell into it here. And then here. So just remember that. I'm going to let it sort of see if I can. All right. So don't expect much. And make sure your sell orders are in if you're long. Right? There you go. Long sell 7, selling 8.25, selling 8. Right? Just lose that inventory. Take a point or two. Right? You know there's going to be a seller at 8.25, so front run them. You know, don't wait for an invitation to sell. If you are going long when inventory is above you. See, you can see the seller right there. I know it's slow and boring as hell, right? High-tech arbitrage players. I don't know anything about that, OJ. I'll have to defer to your learned opinion on that. I don't even know what the hell that is. I like to keep things simple, folks. All right. Let's see if we can get past 8.5. There we go. Oh, signs of life? Not just yet. Not quite ready. Any questions? Let's go take a look at some equities while I don't even have my equity chart open. I better let that open and download. Nothing going on here. Hey, Derek, how you doing? Oh, don't worry about it, Juice. Listen, guys, I'll never BS you, okay? If I don't know the answer to something, I'm not going to make it up. I don't even know what high-tech arbitrage is. I would love to see some liquidation. I'd love to test this overnight low. But it's kind of stuck right now. Pre-Fed markets are kind of annoying, you know? Oh, look at that. I'll have to look at it. PTHL, good volume today. Do I recommend having level 2 data? No, completely unnecessary. You know the only thing you need level 2 of? Like Rufus, say you're doing a deal, right? And you got 50, 100 million shares, right? And you're routing trades to market makers and you're paying people to bring in buying, right? You want to see if your orders are being messed with, that kind of thing. That's what you'd have a level 2, right? But all you need is a 1 minute candle chart, the ability to pay attention. Save yourself the money. Do I sit out when there's chop like this? No, I sit out. I took one trade with you guys, two trades. And after this stream is over, I will not trade until after the Fed. I might not even trade today, right? Maybe later on, right? Yeah, retail don't need level 2. All you have to do, my friends, is watch the offer. Just watch the offer. It'll tell you where the selling is, right? And it'll tell you where they stop selling. That's all you need to know. And then you put your trade execution plan around that. This way, you save yourself a lot of money and a lot of time, and you don't split your focus. What's up, Moran? You only have bad trades? It's month end. You're supposed to have the day off. Oh my goodness. Let's see how equities are doing, if you don't mind. Running through month end. Tesla under 328. That's no big surprise. Pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies. Palantir 158. Hanging in there. MSTR under 401 again. Ooh, PayPal. Ouch. Amazon 230. Crabapple 210. Not much going on. Microsoft, geez. Anybody own Microsoft at $40 a share? Look at that. I wish I did. And leather jacket guy, NVIDIA 177.80. Eh, Not much going on. You could use this, definitely. Like if let me see, where could you use a balance area? Mm-hmm. Could use those lows, maybe there, right? You could definitely use it as a balance. There's volume down here too, so you could use it as a cost basis. Let's see what happens when we get up to this level here. Oh, why is that so thick? Let's see what happens if we can we get up to that 9. Is that 9 1/4? Golly, this is slow. What do you think? B's going to be an inside bar? No movement. Let's see if the bottom of that balance zone works. That's the most exciting thing we can do right now. You've been holding a short for half an hour? Holy cow. Good for you. Well done. Yeah, Howard, best to, take a bit of a break. Let's see if the top of the balance works. It's working. So now if you were like building a position, you know, and you were going long between 6 and 8, right? Now why would you be going long? Well, I don't see a seller. I see a seller at 9, but I don't see anybody really wanting to sell this thing under 6 yet. So if you built a little long position here, as soon as it pops over 9, goes to 11, 12, just bang it out. There we go. So say, for example, a couple of days ago I showed you guys how to build a position. If you were positioned here, Let them have it with both barrels. You know you're going to have sellers here and here. Does it help you guys to see a clean chart with nothing on it? Is this helping you guys? I'm trying to be creative. Let me know. Oh, hey Renee, how you doing? You got internet back yet? Cool. Whatever it does to help you guys visualize, right? So, that's why people go, they're going position long here and then selling into that strength, right? You sell into strength which is caused by a lack of supply. Exactly. The buyers and sellers are the same people. Oh, that's good, Renee. Good stuff. My goodness. This is going to be a long 20 minutes, folks. Anyone have any questions? Don't, even if you think they're not good questions, ask because I want to help you guys learn. Yeah. Now we should technically go to the bottom of the box, which is around 6/4. This is why you got to sell into strength, right? Why? Because everybody else is, right? Everyone else is selling into strength. You should too. Otherwise, they're going to steal your customers. It all depends, Richard, on the order flow. That's a good question. When a market hits a low repeatedly, the more often it tests that, does it indicate of breaking through and moving lower? Generally, yes, but always be prepared if it doesn't, right? I'll just sit and watch because sometimes I'll see it hit a low, hit a low, hit a low, and then all of a sudden it just will rip, right? If enough people get short and supply runs out, Richard, it will not break that low. There is no clue right now, Colin. Colin, right now it's coffee time. Go have one of those J. Bob Carter donuts. Right? If you were working for J. Bob right now, you'd be at the coffee machine grabbing a donut and a coffee. I do not like blueberry muffins, right? Colin's pretty cool. Colin used to work for one of the most notorious stock promoters in Vancouver. No, it won't be much. Sonny, and it's $20. It's 39 without the deal, so it's really not that much, right? If you're addicted to YouTube clips, the only way I get an inkling of it's going to break higher is because it can't break the bottom of this box, right? And I see that B has not been able to take out A, and A didn't take out that stop, so we're most likely going to rotate higher. But I hate trying. What I hate doing is trying to be um, a fortune teller. How do you do that? You just right click, and it's either letters, blocks, and own columns, or reset to default. So if you reset it to default, it looks like that. And then if you do own columns and split it, it'll split it like that. It's just right click. I know Sierra can be a bit much. There's a lot of settings. Yeah, don't worry, Sonny. It won't be like $20 and then 300 or anything like that. Our usual our usual rate is always 39, you know. It's not that much. I use Sierra Chart, Global Vision. It is one of the hardest software programs to learn, but it is also the most stable retail trading program that there is. Since 2012, I've only been able to crash it once, and that's when I loaded Bitcoin and I used too many ticks. Look, if you're long 6, 7, 8, sell, sell, sell. Okay? Get in there and hit those bids, right? Let them have it with both barrels. I use Sierra Chart, Sierra, Sierra. Let me type it in the chat. No problem. It's really stable. It's cost effective, but it will take you some time to get used to using it. And anybody who uses it will agree with me. You broke it a few times? I've only been able to break it once. Yeah, there are a lot of good setup uh, YouTube videos. Diana Penna and other people have great videos on how to set it up. Well, folks, I really appreciate you sticking with me during this boring, boring hour and a half. My goodness. Oh, hey, Sadiq, what's going on? How in God's name are you going to get that back to Coquitlam? No worries, OJ. Right? Sell into this strength, my friends. Sell into it. Right? If you're position long, make sure you pay yourself before somebody robs your customer. I've never traded off TradingView. I mean, I have it for my crypto levels. Oh, wait, crypto's down a bit today, isn't it? Oh, no, 117. Yeah, we got. All right, 13. If you got them, sell them. Now, if we take that A high, it's going to run some stops. Remember, folks, that we had sellers here? That's the freshest area of sellers. Right at 14 and a half. Right? Trend day coming. Don't curse us, Derek. Don't jinx it. Oh, my goodness. That has been probably one of the slower mornings I've seen in a while. Right? Let's see if we can squeak this thing past the goalie at 14 and a half. You know, Michael, I don't know about maybe trading a longer time frame using the method. See, the method that I teach, the look below and fail, the look above and fail, right? It's you can scale that out in time and size, right? But I don't actually trade crypto. I buy it and I put it away. Just Bitcoin, and that what do I own? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and when it dips down in these certain levels, I buy a little bit, I stick it away. Not a lot, small position. Hey, there we go. We ripped the stops. Let's see if we can go tag that overnight high at 17 and a half. So that's really what I do. I don't trade it. So I don't know the ins and outs of crypto trading. But in our room, we have lots of people who do, and they'd be happy to help you out with that. I do not buy stock. I do not buy stock. If you want to get involved in stocks, I'll go take something public and they'll give me stock for free. I have never paid for stock in my life. Since 1993, I have never paid for stock once. Why pay for something when you can get it for free? Right? I'm not an investor. I've got some Bitcoin and some Ethereum and stuff like that, just in case the 0 and 1 mafia do what they say they're going to do. Right? But I've never paid for stock in my life. The only time I've ever bought stock is to cover a short. Right? I'm a distributor. All right, let's go see if we can take that overnight high. I learned that in my very first job. I asked my boss, "Hey, we've got all these clients. Which one of these deals should I buy?" It's like, "JJ, you don't buy stock, you sell it." I was like, "Wait a minute. Chief, how do you sell it if you don't buy it?" It's like, "You idiot, they give it to you for free." I'm like, "Okay. All right, we took out the overnight high." Investing is different than trading, right? If you're investing, you better know everything there is to know about that company. Damn, if I was investing in companies, I'd be hiring private eyes to follow the CEO around at night. Right? If I was investing in a company, man, I'd be on the CEO like, oh man, where are you going? What are you doing now? Look at all those guys get away with nothing. Oh, the levels are working. And if you were long in that area, you'd sell into it. My knowledge of crypto is still maybe 1%, right? But what I'm looking forward to is when they tokenize securities and I'll be able to take companies public on blockchain outside the purview of the SEC. That would be nice. And back down now. Do I have levels for NQ? I do, but I need to clean them up. As you can see, I really need to clean up my NQ chart. I'll go do some new levels. Just nobody ever asks for them. So what I do, Aries, is I used to do levels for everything, but then people would ask me for levels. I'd spend this time making up a chart, doing the levels. They'd ask once or twice, and then they disappear. So that's why I'll do them if you guys want. Okay, folks. When the next half-hour period opens in 2.5 minutes, you're going to want to see if we can get back under 14 and a half. See if we get single prints. Why did I not take a long? Because I was lazy, undisciplined, and unfocused. If you want the honest truth, right? right? Because I was lazy, undisciplined, and unfocused. That's why I did not take that trade. Sure, Ralphie. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. Little look below and fail of 16. Another trade I missed. So, folks, we're going to shut down this session here. I'm going to, if you need me in the room, I'm just going to run out for about an hour and then I'll be available. No problem. I won't lie to you guys. I'll tell you when I'm not on the ball or when I'm lazy, right? Most of the errors I make in trading, whether it's not taking trades or screwing up a trade, they all come back to being undisciplined, unfocused, and being lazy. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Derek. Okay, well, drop by every once in a while and say hi, Ralphie. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm not one of those traders who always makes money. Like, I'll tell you guys when I screw up. I'm like, damn, I blew that one. Or, oops, I missed that one, right? I will look at PTHL. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your patience being with me during this brutally slow day. Don't overtrade. Stay out of trouble. And we will see you later on. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.